In the small fog-choked town of Ravenshollow, where the river hissed like a living serpent through the valley, stood the Bridge of Shadows, a name whispered with trembling lips by the locals who refused to cross it after sundown. It was not always a place of dread. Once it was merely an iron bridge connecting to parts of the village, built by a man named Elias Crowe in 1897, who swore the river beneath would make Ravenshollow prosper. But something went wrong the night the final rivet was struck. A scream echoed from the water, the sky turned black, and the torches along the bridge extinguished themselves one by one, leaving only silence and the smell of burnt iron. From that night onward, those who crossed after dark were said to vanish, their shadows lingering behind, writhing on the railings like trapped souls clawing to be free. For decades, the villagers made offerings at the bridge's mouth, coins, candles, even livestock, hoping to appease whatever haunted it. Yet the bridge demanded more. It started with whispers, soft voices that lured the curious, promising secrets, gold, lost loves. The brave who followed never returned whole. One winter, a hunter named Bram dared to cross for a wager. The next morning, they found his body on the far bank, face frozen in terror, but his shadow was still moving, reaching out for the town like an endless black tongue. The elders sealed the bridge, but shadows still stretched across the river some nights, whispering names of the living. Years passed, generations fled, but the town endured, bound by fear and superstition. Then came Mara Quinn, a young journalist hungry for truth, who arrived one stormy evening, mocking the locals' tales. "A bridge can't eat people," she said. They warned her that it wasn't the bridge that ate it, was what lived beneath. The river, they claimed, was cursed by Elias Crowe himself, who had made a pact with something ancient to bless his construction with eternal strength, only to learn too late that the entity had taken his soul as collateral. Mara laughed at their ghost stories, clutching her recorder and flashlight, and set off toward the bridge just as the last bell tolled midnight. The fog thickened, swirling like smoke from unseen fires. Her light flickered, and for a heartbeat she saw a shape, no, 100 shapes moving beneath the iron beams, their eyes like drowned stars. A whisper brushed her ear, not from the wind but from something inches away. "You came to write about me." She turned, but there was no one. The bridge creaked under her weight, as if awakening. Her recorder picked up a faint hum like chanting beneath the water. When she reached the center, the fog parted, and she saw them, faces beneath the ice-cold river, mouths open in eternal screams. The shadows on the bridge stretched toward her boots. Her light died. The villagers heard her scream moments later, echoing across the valley like thunder. When they found the recorder the next day, soaked but intact, it captured a final whisper. "I found the truth. He's still here." No one dared retrieve her body. They said her shadow remained, pacing the bridge at dusk, calling for help. Months later, the town began to change. Animals were born without shadows. Mirrors refused to show reflections, and the church bell rang by itself at midnight. Then came the dreams. Every resident saw Elias Crowe standing on the bridge, whispering, "I'm almost free." The mayor ordered the bridge demolished, hiring workers from out of town who laughed at local legends. They began at dawn, cutting through the old iron beams. By noon, one worker screamed, claiming something was moving inside the metal itself, a dark pulse, like veins filled with ink. Then the river began to rise, though no rain had fallen. The foreman shouted to keep working, but the machinery failed, their engines choked by black water bubbling from the ground. The sun dimmed, as if the sky itself feared to look, and then the shadows came crawling up from beneath the bridge, twisting around the men's legs, dragging them screaming into the river that reflected no light. Those who escaped swore they saw Mara among them, her eyes black, her mouth whispering their names. By sunset, the bridge was whole again, untouched, as if it had never been struck. The townsfolk fled Ravenshollow that night, leaving their homes, their fields, everything except the bridge. Decades later, the government marked the area abandoned, but hikers still find their way there, drawn by rumors of strange lights and voices calling their names. A viral video in 2016 showed a group crossing it. They laughed, filmed jokes, but at minute 4, one girl turned pale and whispered, "Who's holding my hand?" There was no one beside her. The video ended abruptly, uploaded automatically from her phone. Police found the camera, but not the group. The comments under the video still update at midnight, new usernames appearing every week, people who never existed. Locals say the bridge keeps expanding its reach through screens, through recordings, through anyone who dares say its name. And if you ever watch that video and hear the faint echo of footsteps behind you, don't turn around, because once you see the shadow, it sees you back. That's why the people of Ravenshollow no longer speak of the Bridge of Shadows, because names have power, and that bridge is still listening. waiting for the next soul who thinks fear is just a story.